Hey, what is going on, guys? Richard M here, and today we're going to be doing a mid-bald fade on straight Asian hair. And before we begin this video, I just want you guys to leave a quick comment down below on what is the toughest haircut that you struggle with on cutting. And with that said, let's begin. So I always like to start off cutting the top of the head from the back forward. I do this because I know a method where I know exactly how much the client wants to cut off the top, whether they had their last haircut in a couple weeks or a couple months. I don't usually ask the client how much they want to cut off the top. I show them the length and ask them, is this okay, before I cut it, just to ensure that I am correct 100% of the time and that they're okay with it. So right now I'm just cutting everything straight across. I'm moving about half an inch to quarter inch, so this way I'm not over directing too much of the hair backwards by taking an inch section which is too wide. And I do this going from the back all the way to the front, as you see here. And the very front, you can over direct the hair backwards a little bit just to keep a little bit more length. And now that we're done, we're just going back to point cut the hair. And what this does is it creates lots of texture, a lot more movement, and because this hair is a little bit bulky, and it helps with that as well. So now that we are done the top, which is pretty much just a rough draft actually, we are gonna have to touch it up just a little bit just to clean it up a little bit more. But it's always good to have the top finished, so when you're fading, you know exactly what you're fading into. So now moving on to the fade, we're starting off with our number 2.5 guard all the way open. This is usually the length I like to finish off my bald fades at, sometimes a number 3, but most of the time it's gonna be the 2 guard all the way open. So now that we use the number 2 guard all the way open to debulk, we have a good working space now to create our bald line with the trimmer. And for mid-bald fades, I usually like to go about maybe like a half inch above the ear just to start off the line. So now that that is done, we're gonna be following that up with our bald shaver, just going slightly right underneath the line that we created. And at the beginning, when I started out in my career, I always was scared that I'll create a harsh line that I won't be able to take out. But whatever line you create with the balder, you can always take back out with the bald shaver, just kind of tapping downwards at it instead of creating such a harsh line going upwards. And now we're starting off a fade with a half guard all the way closed, creating our initial guideline going about half an inch up. So now with no guard all the way open, we're just gonna be slowly fading out that line by closing the lever just little by little until the line's completely faded out. So now with our number 2 guard all the way closed, we're going to begin fading downwards. And if you guys remember, we used our 2 open to debulk, and now we're just having the number 2 guard all the way closed. And right underneath that, it's our 1.5. Again, we always start open before closing up the lever. So now the lever is all the way closed and we're working pretty much stacking the guards. Don't be afraid to go past where you left off if you see that there's still a little bit of a dark area. And now that we got our number 1 guard open, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing. And I just want you guys to really pay attention to how I'm using the clippers. I really notice how much of the corners I'm using compared to when I'm using the full blade. So right now we have the number 1 guard all the way closed. And you guys did see me switch the clippers because this clipper right here, it does cut a lot more smooth, a lot better because it has a fade blade compared to the taper blade that's on the Magic Clip, and that's exactly why I made the switch. So right now we're moving on to our half guard all the way open, and right after that we're going to be closing it all the way up just to get rid of that very last dark area at the very bottom. And notice sometimes how high I go up with this guard. Don't be afraid to go higher than where the guard is supposed to be. It all depends on how you angle the clipper, so just make sure you're not afraid of doing that, and just do what's necessary to get rid of any dark areas that you see. Now to finish this off, we have the half guard all the way closed and taking out that very last dark area at the bottom. Now with the fade pretty much complete on this side, we're going to be using our trimmers to kind of create that C-cup area. And with this, it's going to really frame everything nicely together, and you can see exactly how everything looks. And on this side here, we're going to be doing the exact same steps that we did on the other side. And I just want to see if you guys remember the steps that I did. So I'm just going to let you guys follow along and enjoy. So now that the system is pretty much complete, we're just going to be doing a little bit more detail work to make sure this gets to the next level, making sure everything is as blurry as it can get. And as you can see, everything I'm doing now is with just only using the corners. So I'm never using the full blade, it's always just the corner just to tap at it. And to finish it all off, we're going in with our trimmers and kind of creating that C-cup. Again, you guys know me, I love this technique. Scissor over comb with the texturizing shears. I do this at the end of every single haircut. It's one of my favorite things. And it's a great way to finish it off, to blend everything in together. And at the end of every haircut, I like to finish it off with a straight razor blade just to the back of the neck. This creates a very smooth feel and a pleasant experience for the clients. So here's a very quick preview of what we were working with before, and have a look at the after. Sheesh! Damn! I hope you guys found value and learned something from this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a single video, and I'll be back with more videos to come. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.